All right, we're moving on to the next standard in this unit, and that standard is explaining unit conversion. We are in our ratios proportional reasoning unit, and we're going to be thinking about changing units from miles to inches, or pounds to ounces, or pints to quarts. We're going from one unit to the other, given some information. So looking here, it says you will be given a scale factor similar to unit rate. So if we think about unit rate, we can think of miles per gallon, or we're having per one. And so in this case, we're going to be given a rate per one, and then we're going to use that to find the missing value. So let's take a look at these steps, and then let's practice some problems. So we're going to set up a table. We're going to ask ourselves, what are we comparing? And then from there, we'll find the desired value. So let's try it. So it says, convert 4.5 pounds to ounces. So we have our table set up. Now we need to figure out, what are we comparing? And let me write that in my table. We're comparing pounds to ounces. And we have 16 ounces for every 1 pound. So I'm going to put 1 pound here. And we know that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So now our next goal is to figure out how much 4.5 pounds, how many ounces is that? So I'm going to write the 4.5 pounds in my table. So we want 4.5 pounds. How many ounces is that? This amount is missing. So the next thing I want to do is ask myself, how can I go from 1 to 4.5? Well, anything times 1 is that number. So I'm going to multiply times 4.5. And whatever I do to the top, to this value at the top, I need to do to the value at the bottom to keep my equivalency, just like I would with fractions. So I'm going to multiply by 4.5. And then I'm going to get my calculator. We have 16 times 4.5. And I get 72. And so now we have to ask ourselves, what does this 72 mean? It means that 4.5 pounds is equal to 72 ounces. And we use the relationship that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So we're just filling in our table, and we're changing our values based on the information we know. So think about our equivalency tables, how we change the values in the table based on the relationship that we knew. And this relationship is multiplying by 4.5. All right, let's move on to the next one. Convert 9 quarts into pints. And so we're comparing quarts and pints. And we know that 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. This information is given to us. We don't have to think about it too hard. This scale factor, this kind of unit rate has been given to us. So we don't need to think too hard. So now we have to figure out, what are we solving for? Where are we trying to go with this scale factor? Well, it says that we have 9 quarts. So I'm going to write 9 on the top where we have our quarts. And we want to figure out, how many pints is this? And so how are we going to find our answer? Well, let's look at the relationship of the numbers we know. 1 to 9, we can multiply by 9. And if I do that at the top, I can also do that at the bottom. Times 9. And 2 times 9 is 18. I could have also looked at the relationship going from quarts to pints. I can see that 1 times 2 is 2. So I could use that same relationship. 9 times 2 would give me 18. So remember, there's so many ways to find these missing values in your equivalency table. We can use that logic here in these problems as well. All right, let's move on to another problem. All right. A map has a scale factor of 1 inch for 2 miles. So every inch on the map is actually 2 miles in real life. So if we're looking at a map, we know a map is a small representation of a larger scale. So if we're thinking about the map of Georgia, if I'm looking at it on a piece of paper, it's a very small version of what Georgia really is. And so on this particular map, 1 inch is 2 miles. So already we know what we're comparing. We're comparing inches to miles. And so we know that 1 inch is 2 miles. This information has been given to us. We don't have to think too hard about what are we comparing, what is the unit I know. We already know it. 1 inch is 2 miles. And then it says 2 cities are 11 inches apart on the map. How far are they in real life? All right. So 11 inches apart on a map. So where is inches going to go? Well, as we can see, inches is at the top. And so we have 11 inches, but we want to know how far are they in real life? In miles. So we're not thinking about a ruler, we're thinking about on the scale of real life. How far will they be from each other? So let's see, how can I go from 1 to 11? Well, I can multiply by 11. And so if I do that to 1, I need to do it to 2 as well to keep my equivalency. And 2 times 11 is 22. So as we can see, 11 inches on map is equal to 22 miles in real life. Now we could have also noticed that same relationship I brought up last time. How am I going from 1 to 2? I can multiply by 2. How am I going from 11 to 22? I keep my relationship and multiply by 2, and 11 times 2 is 22. So you can look at this a number of different ways. Don't feel constricted to just looking at it like this. All right, so let's move on to the next one. A model car is made using a scale factor of 1.5 inches to 2 feet. All right. So we have inches again, but we're comparing inches not to miles this time, but to feet. And we know that 1.5 inches is equal to 2 feet. So we're thinking about a model car. This might be like a Hot Wheels car, those small little cars that you can play with. And that is a smaller version of a huge car in real life. And so when we're thinking about inches to feet, we're comparing a model car to a real car. So now it says, how long is the model if the actual car is 11 feet long? All right, so we know what we're looking for, 11 feet long. We have that information. So we're going to put 11 here at the bottom. And we're trying to figure out the number of inches. So this time we're trying to figure out the inches, and we have the feet. And so one thing I can think about, well, how am I going from 2 to 11? So I can't think of a number times 2 that can go directly into 11. So I'm going to get my calculator, and I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide 11 divided by 2. 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. So since I know 11 divided by 2 is 5.5, I know that 2 times 5.5 will give me 11. So I'm going to multiply by 5.5 to go from 2 to 11. And whatever I do to the 2 to the feet, I need to also do to the 1.5, the inches, to keep my equivalency. So I'm multiplying by 5.5. So now let's multiply. 1.5 times 5.5 is 8.25. So let me type that again to make sure it's right. I like to check my decimal work in my calculator. Times 5.5 gives me 8.25. So what this answer means is that if the actual car is 11 feet long, the model car is 8.25 inches. So we can think about that. Think about 11 feet. 11 feet is pretty big. Take 11 footsteps. So 11 feet versus 8.25 inches on a ruler. So not even 12 full inches. That's how big the model car will be. All right? So remember your steps. Set up your table. Ask yourself, what are you comparing? Put that into your table. Put in the value you're looking for, and then solve for the missing value. Do the same thing you would do when you are trying to find the missing values in the equivalency table. All right, thank you.